It was weird. I never recorded a song quite like that, not having ever jammed it before the studio, so it was kind of fun and challenging.
So the song Love at the End of an Era was originally called Love in the Time of Cholera, and how it came about was I was sitting in my apartment one day and I noticed that like the book Love in the Time of Cholera was on my bookshelf, and it's been there for years, right? Like just sitting on my bookshelf, and I kind of thought to myself one day, how many hours have I watched, like, you know, Friends episodes or YouTube videos on pranks, and this like piece of world-renowned literature sitting on my bookshelf.
As we often do, we all got a demo in our inbox. This happens frequently, that Simon sends us a home-recorded demo, and it was entitled Love in the Time of Cholera, the file name, which is a book I'm convinced Simon has never read.
I've never ever took the time to read this book.
I'm sure it's kicking around his house somewhere, you know, just picks it up, kind of puts it in the song. You know, the song comes on, it's kind of a groovy song, it's got a bit of a different sound, and then the chorus is Love in the Time of Cholera.
A couple of the band members said, cholera is not a word. Like, the word is cholera. So I was like, oh, well, cholera, okay. So I don't know how I did not know.
Almost kind of right away, I think I wrote back saying, so this is a cool song, this line isn't really working, but I know Simon's very particular about his syllables.
So I wanted to stick with cholera, but we have the unfortunate thing in our band where we have a PhD student in medieval literature who refused, because he was like, cholera is not a word. I'm not being in a band that has the word cholera in a song because it's just not a word. So me and him had a tiffle.
I'm on Dave's side. It's massacring the English language. And I thought the first thing someone would say if they heard our song was, do those guys know it's cholera? Are they aware of that?
I was never on board with cholera. You know, gun to my head, if I had to pick, it would not be a question.
Well, upon hearing the song and how you pronounce it, it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Simon. I would totally expect something like that from him.
The deal was, okay, well, we can't use the word cholera because it's not a word in the English language. So I was like, okay, so but cholera doesn't work because it doesn't fit syllabically.
If he writes a song where the words go with the melody in a particular way, he doesn't like to tweak it too much. So I thought about a line that would go with the melody in the same way, and I came up with Love at the End of an Era.
I was really into just keeping cholera. Like I thought it fit well, and we just make a new word.
I'm probably the easiest guy in the band to convince of something, so I really liked the song. I had no problem with the lyric. It was kind of like a play on words for me. I don't know many other songs that do that, but I thought it was kind of cool.
You know, with Simon, you just kind of let him go sometimes, and that's when you get the real good stuff from him.
What is a word? You know, you tell me. I don't know. You know, what's swag? The band decided that we weren't even gonna do it. It was a lost cause. It was done. I was kind of secretly pushing for this song. So when the band kind of wasn't around, I'd go to the producer and I was like, hey dude, did you hear that other demo I sent you, Love in the Time of Cholera? And so he went and listened to it, and then he was like, yeah, I'm grooving it. And I was like, yeah, I'm grooving it too. Like, let's convince the band to do it.
We walk into the studio and our producer is sitting in front of his computer, and he's got open one of these audio pronunciation or websites where you click on it and it'll play you the word as it's pronounced correctly.
Ryan was sitting there going, cholera, cholera, cholera. I think probably going through his mind was, oh, maybe they say it differently up there.
We decided to do it, so we kind of recorded that song completely on the fly. We had never jammed it once.
We were switching gears. We weren't gonna do this song. We're gonna do this song, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, well, cool. Let's get a drink and, you know, see what we're up against here.
I went outside to the back of the studio and I put on my headphones and put in the demo and just wrote my parts on the spot. That was interesting to totally be writing my parts in a vacuum with none of the other band members, listening to see what I came up with. I really like it. I really like how it came together in the studio. We added a lot of elements that weren't in the original demo, and we really built on it.
I think the song turned out fantastic. I mean, it's a bit of a departure from kind of our traditional sound, but I think in a really good way. I think it's always good to sort of evolve as a band and as a group.
You can see that we've grown and that we've sort of tried to expand our sound and do things a little differently to get away just from the straight up all country feel.
If this is just kind of like a Trojan horse thing where you guys are just getting me to like agree to do it, and then after we track the drums and after we're sort of all the way like into it, you just turn around and say, no, we're going back to Calera, like I'm gonna absolutely freak out. Like I couldn't handle it.
So it's a bit of a catch-22 for me. I have to give credit to Dave for creating the name of the song, but now, you know, Dave's the creator of the name of the song. Love the End of an Era. I think it's got a nice mysterious ring to it. What does it all mean, Basil? You know what I mean? So I'm happy with it.